What up? It's the real Keith. Any other fabrication of your imagination.
And I'm back with another record of Ragnarok chapter review. Chapter 111 and 112. We pick up where we left off with them talking about the Gollnir people. And it's talking about a book called the Book of Gollnir Preface. And we see Odin with a group they call the 11 God Slayers, which, as we know, are the primordial gods. And you see Odin stepping over a broken sword. We don't know whose sword it is though. We see other swords in the ground, so I'm guessing the fight just ended. And it says Yggdrasil, who decided to massacre the other gods, and the 7 primordial gods who supported them. And in the face of the tyranny of the 11 gods stood 77 gods that defied them. And we see Izanagi. It was an all-out war between all of the primordial gods. It was Ragnarok. And it seems like whoever Yggdrasil is extremely powerful, because all of the gods tried to hop on him and face him all at the same time, and one after another fell. And next we see, it looks like them in Valhalla regroup trying to heal, and people who need a medic get some medic. And it also seems like Yggdrasil isn't one specific god. It was a group of 4, which Odin was a part of. The other 77 gods pretty much say that they were overwhelmed and being slaughtered in a one-sided fight. Over half of them were already killed, and we see Izanagi trying to heal someone or give someone medical help. And it looked like most of the gods wanted to give up except for Irene. She said she would fight to the end. And then we see Gollnir run in with some type of spear or orb, and he tells them that no technique, no weapon can even scratch them, so they can't even kill them if they wanted to. And they seem to be upset, but Gollnir tells them to actually listen, and he tells us that the orb is called Gleipnir, and it says with this we'll seal the 11 Yggdrasils included. Then he goes on to tell us that Gleipnir is a practical application of space-time technology used to compress space-time and create an inescapable pocket space. Gollnir goes on to explain how it works, but they don't really want to hear it. They saying that even if he explains it, they still wouldn't understand it. They just want to know would it work. He says that it will work, but the only issue is that it would take a tremendous amount of life force to use, and they would have to be the one doing it. It could be considered a forbidden technique. It would be draining their life force until the moment that the other gods were sealed, and he believes that half of them would even die just from that happening. They seem to be reluctant at first, but then they finally just say if it just cost them their lives, any of them would be down to do it. I guess they really hate Yggdrasil, and now they are setting up to devise the battle plan. And then we go back to the battlefield. Odin and the others believe they're trying to make a last-ditch effort, which would be pointless, but it seems that the other primordials did catch them into Gleipnir successfully, but it does look like half of the primordial gods did die. Even Gollnir was severely injured, missing his legs, but he did survive. And he just feels like it's sad that the other gods had to die, but their sacrifice was not for naught. Valhalla slowly recovered and became peaceful, and it seems like only 7 primordial gods remained, and they're discussing should they tell future generations about Yggdrasil or not. And it seems like before the seal for their runes escape, they say as long as the runes exist, there can always be someone that resonates with them, and the possibility of Gleipnir being broken will never be 0. So they decided not to tell anyone about Yggdrasil. They say it's impossible to erase their existence, but they will try to change history and leave false records. And they all agreed upon it except for Gollnir. Gollnir feels like all the gods should know the truth of what really happened. He says history is neither good nor bad, but Irene tells him that there is good and bad in the world, and that's why they have to hide it. It doesn't matter how hard we try to hide it, it'll still get out at some point. That's just what the truth is. And he also tells how most of them use their life force for Gleipnir, so they are also destined to die sometime soon. And Gollnir feels like it's irresponsible to hide the truth, and they put it up to a vote again that they're trying to see did anyone agree with Gollnir, and nobody agreed with him. And I'm guessing all of the primordials have runes, because it seems like Irene has a rune on her hand which made chains of light come out of her hand, plus the Vela, light chains embrace, and she chained up Gollnir. And Gollnir is still pleading his case. He wants them to really tell the future generations. He believes that someone in the distant future will be able to defeat them, because they are just waiting to escape. So they put Gollnir in a prison and marked him as a high-risk prisoner. But it seems like some more gods didn't approve of what the other primordials were doing, and they came to break Gollnir out. And the leading man is Gollnir's best disciple, Feldis. Gollnir is shocked on how they even broke in, and Feldis goes on to say that he used one of his tools called Avenger, which put the guards to sleep, and this looks kind of like a bell. But Gollnir refused to break out with them, and it seems that Gollnir's disciple are the new gods of the world. And Gollnir asks Feldis for his bag, and he's looking for something, and he finds some type of mirror, and this mirror generates a barrier that blocks all senses and perception. It is called Odin's bag, and with that mirror, Gollnir tells them to go create their own village, and it could be hidden. But Gollnir did escape and ran away from the other primordial god. And then he started writing his story. He explained the erased history, even including how to break Gleipnir, and described the entirety of the truth within his tome. And his body was slowly dissipating. And he wrote, "Love is not jealous. Love is not prideful. Love is not boastful. Love is the signpost that leads us nearer to the truth of the world. Therefore, with my love and belief, I choose to inscribe this tome, simply following my own beliefs." And that's where chapter 111 ends. Chapter 112 starts off where we left off, with Gollnir's jailbreak. The primordials are rewriting history. And these primordials seem to be pretty powerful too. They were able to overwrite the other gods' memories, and anything dealing with Yggdrasil or anything related to them before was deleted from their minds. But it seems like they're not able to rewrite Gollnir's memory, and they're looking for him. So it does seem like the primordials do have a certain limit on their power. They are looking to Irene to find Gollnir. She states that if the great inventor god Gollnir is hidden away, not even his wife can find him. But they didn't even have to look for him long. Gollnir literally ran into them, and the primordials tell Gollnir how his existence poses a threat to the rest of the universe. But Gollnir said that he came just to show them a new invention he created and brag about it. It wasn't an invention, it was his book, and he explains that he put everything in the book. I don't know why he would tell the people that want to erase everything that he wrote it down. But there was a reason behind his madness. It seems like he put a spell on the book, but it used his life force to do it. And Gollnir says that he believes in the future and their children. And Irene and Gollnir cries because they know Gollnir is about to die. And Gollnir disappears, just like how every other god does when they die. And Irene goes to read the book, and it talks about everything that he said that he would write. But it also talks about their friends and how they were heroes who fought for peace. They say that was Gollnir's truth. And they also question why would Gollnir go through all the trouble to bring them the book, and it was just to brag. But the other gods say that that book cannot exist and they need to burn it. But it seems like the spell that Gollnir cast stopped it from being burned, stopped it from being able to be burned, at least by normal fire. It took all them using their power together to destroy the book. And then they talk about how they need to find Gollnir's disciples because they have all of his knowledge too. So I'm guessing they want to kill them. They explain that they cannot find his disciples. They must be hidden by one of Gollnir's inventions. And since that's the case, they can't overwrite their memories. But if they do find them, they will kill them. And in the village Gollnir's disciples were hidden in was the candle lit. And the candle went out, and now they know that Gollnir is dead. And the disciples wonder what they should do now, if they should go spread his knowledge. But they know that it's impossible, because if they do, they would be killed by the other primordials. And Gollnir did not want that. And they came to the conclusion that they would tell their descendants the truth of the world. And they consider themselves the people of Gollnir now. And they even purged Gollnir from history with the other Yggdrasil and primordial god when they created this new history. And now the story goes, in the beginning the primordial gods created the world, but their power was too great for even them to bear, leading to their destruction. And then the new gods created the world as we know it, consisting of Valhalla, Midgard, and Helheim. And it seems to be being told to a classroom full of students. And over time there was no one left who knew what had happened. And now we are back to see Feldis as an old man, and it seems he's become a real alcoholic. And we are introduced to another god named Velt, who was part of the Gollnir people. And later he became Odin, the supreme god of the Norse pantheon. And it all started with his pure heart, and that's where the chapter ends.
This was a great chapter with a lot of informative information that we needed to know. We even got the reason on why the series is called The Record of Ragnarok. We also got to see the god that Odin took over, and this pretty much tells us that Odin is the strongest in the verse that we have seen so far. It said they erased Gollnir from history when it was all because of him that they were even able to defeat the Yggdrasil. But this was a change of pace. They gave us 2 chapters filled with lore. My only issue was they reiterated that they were gonna erase the Yggdrasil from history a little too many times. But other than that, it was great. If you want to see more Record of Ragnarok chapter reviews, like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe if you like versus battles, and follow Universal Debates on Facebook, link in the description.